Sorry for interruption because I have to go to say my Maghrib prayer. So I was discussing with you guys and the students of English literature in India and Pakistan, wherever you are. I was telling you guys about the Roman alphabet. So English alphabet have been taken from the Roman, and these are 26 letters in everybody alphabetical letters. Everybody knows that. So the Roman rules remained for 400 years, and these are 4 centuries. And in 450 AD, 450 AD, new Germanic tribes as invaders attacked England, and they kicked Romans out of England. And these 3 Germanic tribes were Angles, Saxons, and Jutes. Angles, Saxons, and Jutes. These were the warriors. They attacked England and occupied and sent the Romans out of England. Means to say that the Romans were replaced by these Germanic tribes, and Angles were speaking in Angles dialect, and Saxons were having their own dialect, and the Jutes were having their own dialect. These 3 tribes were having 3 different dialects, and these 3 different dialects became the official dialect of the territory, that is England. As I have already told you, people, whoever comes from outside, attacks, wins, imposes his language. So the same is the case with these 3 tribes. They attacked England, occupied, and imposed their language or imposed their dialects. That is Angles dialects, Saxons dialects, and Jutes dialects. And out of them, one was more powerful. There is Angles. Angles were more powerful amongst these 3 tribes. The Angles were more powerful, were superior than these 2 tribes. And this will be definitely clear to you people, as the name of the language which was given to the language of the dialects that they were speaking, there is English from Angles. And even the name of the territory, the name of the island which is given to the territory, to the area, is England, and English and England. This is because of this tribe Angles. And the first, the oldest name of this island was Brittany, and then it changed to Britain, and then Great Britain. And in Great Britain there were 4 states, you can say. The number 1 is Wales, Scotland, Ireland, and number 4, England is itself. These were the 4 parts of the Great Britain. And after that, in the coming centuries, in the 18th century, Scotland separated, and in the 20th century, Ireland separated, and Wales separated as well. All of 3 separated from England, and Wales In Wales, the people were speaking, Gaelic dialect, and in Ireland, the Celtic dialect was there. So, rule is, you must remember the rule. That is, every ruler imposes its culture and language to the people. And I want to get back you people to the Indian example. First, Sanskrit. Second, Persian, because when Muslims came, they imposed Persian. And when Britishers came into India, they imposed English, and after that, Urdu is going over here in Pakistan and Hindi in India. So the rule is same. The power gives you the dynamics, gives you the directions about the language, about the culture. And every invader and every attacker is aspirant, is excited to spread its culture, to spread its language. So the same is the case with English. And if we talk about the whole background which I have given you people, and you will have to take into consideration the whole of the dialects. You must count all the dialects. And until the 14th century, English did not come into existence. First Gaelic, then Celtic, then Romans. After that, Germanic tribes having their 3 different dialects, Angles, Saxons, and Jews having their different dialects. And the most important language was Latin. And other Gaelic, Celtic, Angles, Saxon, and Jews dialects you cannot ignore, but the major was Latin. And definitely every language takes time, takes much time to be developed. It cannot happen within days. It takes centuries. Languages take centuries to develop. You can take the example of Urdu. Urdu developed with the passage of much time. In India, people speaking Sanskrit, and after that Urdu, after the Hindi, English, the Britishers were speaking English, and Turkish came over there, they were speaking Turkic language, and Muslims came over here from Arab countries, they were speaking Arabic. So all of these languages, when we discuss Urdu, we have to take into consideration the whole of the all languages. And Urdu, it's word Urdu is itself the Turkish word, which means troop, which means a group of army, Lashkar. It is also known as Lashkari language. So, when we talk about English, the same is the case with English. We have to consider all the dialects. And if I'm going to repeat, Celtic, Gaelic, Angles, Saxon, and Jews dialects, and Latin is most important because it was the language of their religion. It was the language of the Bible. It was the language of the people who were believing in Christianity. And until the period of, Renaissance, English could not be born. Until 14th century, until the time of, Chaucer, English could not be developed. And when we talk about Chaucer, he wrote in Old English. And if we talk about the accent of the Chaucer, it was, Midland. His accent was Midland. And discuss, the first writer of Old English. It is Beowulf. It is anonymous. The first work in Old English is Beowulf. And Beowulf, it's a long poem. It contains words, three, different fights, and it contains, 3182 lines. It's a very long poem. 3182 lines. It's the first work of, it is anonymous. That is, we do not know much about we do not know anything about the name who had written this long epic poem, Beowulf. And Bede is also first writer, you can say, but he was not English. He was writing in Latin language. And during the age of John Milton, when we discuss John Milton, up till 16th or 17th, people, when I talk about English or Latin, the people feel pride in writing in Latin. So up to 16th to 17th century, the people were writing in Latin because it was a symbol of superiority. It was a symbol of supremacy, as you know, here when we see in Pakistan and India, because people, feel pride when they are speaking English, because English was the language of the rulers. So everybody imitates them, imitates their culture. Everybody, wants to wear patterned shirt and wants to speak English, because it is known, or it is regarded as the symbol of pride. So same was the case with the Latin. And even John Milton wrote in Latin till 17th century. Till 17th century, he wrote in Latin. And you cannot question over the patriotism or patriotism of John Milton. You cannot put any question mark. He was a friend of Prime Minister. And after that, very well that he wrote an epic, a long epic poem. The name is Paradise Lost. And it is written in English. And after that, Paradise Regained. These are the masterpieces of, of Milton. And the first writer, when we talk about English, the first writer is Caedmon. First writer of English is Caedmon. And during 14th and 15th century, during the reign of Henry VII and VIII, English became the official language of the England, and it took much time. And if I want to sum up my whole discussion in few words, what I would say, the English language is a combination. It's a mixture, or it is integration, you can say, or it's amalgamation of different languages or different dialects of different warriors, and it took centuries for the English language to be developed in England. So it is not a single language. It is now it has become an English language. So it was developed from different languages. And these were the languages spoken by the warriors, spoken by the invaders. And why the English? Why? The question may be, why English language was developed? Romans were there, Latin could not be promoted. as much as English has got the fame or has got the supremacy over other languages. So the answer is very simple. You know, uh, as we came from Arab countries in India and we settled over here, now we have promoted our own language, that is Urdu. And same is the case with English. Germanic tribes, and the more powerful was, Germanic tribes came into England. They attacked, invaded, and occupied England, and they settled. They settled over, and they settled permanently. Because of which the language was promoted. And this is the story for the English language to be developed in England. And viewers, this is the end of the discussion now. Must give me your comment in the comment box so that I may improve my next videos. Thank you.